got an incredible story for you. Okay. That I had to make sure that the door was locked. There's actually like 1, 2, 3 doors between where I sit right now and the rest of the house. And I had to make sure that the bedroom door was locked because the door into the closet does not lock at all, and nor does the one right behind me. Because I'm in a bit of, I'd be in a very, very precarious spot if what I was about to talk about entered the ears of our beloved NFK, my brother-in-law who lives here with us. Now, in this story, I am going to reveal to you first, right this second, I'm going to cut to the very ending of it, okay? So that there isn't a huge, long build-up where you're like, what happened next? What happened next? I'm going to tell you the ending of this story. And then I'm going to go back to the beginning. The pants that the NFK tried on at the Men's Warehouse, after they were removed by the NFK when he tried them on and they did all the marks and said, okay, now the tailor goes to work. The tailor went to work on the pants and discovered they were full of shit. Now, let's back up. I still cannot believe the words that I just had to say, that I've had to process since I found this out on Friday. You could have knocked me over with a feather when I found this information out. How I found it all out, every bit of this fucking story is beyond ridiculous. Save your questions for the end. I will answer your questions in press conference format at the end of this story, but just sit back and enjoy it. So I need to make sure that as I was contemplating telling the story over 2 days, because it all happened on Friday. It all unfolded on Friday. Like, well, I'm definitely going to tell this story, and that's the end of it. I'm like, okay, I got to make sure these doors are locked, because if in the event that our beloved NFK is hearing this would be a terrible, terrible day. We just can't have that. But I have a responsibility. I've sworn an oath that if something ridiculously insane happens, I must tell you. Let me back up. When we went to the Men's Warehouse, there was a moment. I even talked about this earlier last week when we were trying on jackets. And the NFK said, man, I hope I don't have to try on pants. And I said, I'm sorry? He goes, I don't have underwear on. And I'm like, right. Yes, you will have to try on pants. I guess we're just going to have to power through because we need to do this. Probably like, why doesn't he wear pants? Let's not get bogged down with those details. We'll cover that later. Or why doesn't he wear underwear? He wears pants. He doesn't wear underwear. Now, over the years, we have had various run-ins with feces. This has happened in the past where he has a problem. And there's also numerous issues where we have a wiping issue. For some reason, something as important as that. Of all the things you don't want to cut corners on, I would think that wiping your asshole would be something you would not want to cut corners on. I mean, we all know that you're taking care of that, and when it appears that the toilet paper is not brown after a swipey, you're pretty much at the end of the road. The job is done. That is officially a bang-up job. I mean, who in their right mind would do the first swipe and, it looks like, 3 ounces of peanut butter, and then they go, good enough. Well, I don't know. I guess that's been happening. When we started to discover feces in places because frankly, the only place that feces should be is on toilet paper and in a toilet. It shouldn't be on bed sheets. We discovered that Ding Dong, when he's getting ready to put on his, change his clothes or something like that, he sits on the bed and whatever is left over on the ass winds up on the bed. So how? The conversation was had where I said, "Come here, man." He comes walking in. I go, "That's shit." And I want to know how shit is there. What are you doing? Well, it's because I don't wear underwear. I go, underwear is not supposed to be where shit goes. I mean, I guess in a pinch, it has holding capacities that can keep things from escaping, but that's a last resort. Most people don't have piles of shit on their underwear. I said, you are struggling to clean yourself up. This is months ago. Look, we bought these packages of these wet wipes, It says flushable on it. God knows if they are. I don't care at this point. I go, you need to take these, and you need to clean yourself up. Now, outside of that, I don't know what else I can do. These are wet. You open it up. You pull it out. You clean your asshole. Perhaps dry it with the dry paper. Wash your hands, and you leave. Now, I've talked with family members. I talked with Diana. I talked with Diana's cousin who used to live with the NFK, and we all agree it's just laziness. It's not because his brain is mush. It's just laziness. Good enough. All right. So that ends. This is months ago. We did notice, though, that the wipes aren't being used. We're like, oh, God. And then there's evidence showing up in pants. Now, it's still not clear if the incident with the suit pants at the Men's Warehouse, which I'm still telling you that story, if he actually dropped a full turd in his pants or if he had basically a doo-doo Da Vinci poo-poo Picasso on his ass and the pants, I guess, fresh somehow. Like when you were a kid and you took a piece of paper and you put paint on one side of it and then you folded it in half and it was a exact replica or opposite. You make the butterfly deal with the paint. That's what we have going on here with the shit in the asshole, with the Men's Warehouse pants. I didn't examine the pants to look for an actual turd. I'm just telling you this story as it was as it happened to me in little bits and pieces. So back to the day we tried on the pants. I don't have underwear on. I go, fucking shit, Jesus. He tries on one pair of pants, way too tight. Takes those pants off. Puts on pants number 2. They fit. Okay, marky, take the pants off. All right, now let's try on a suit coat. That's it. It turns out they didn't have the appropriate size suit coat. So they said, Eric, we're going to mail this to your house, this suit coat. You bring it back, and then we'll fit it. Okay, that was Friday. Bring the suit coat back, give it to Gary. Gary's awesome. If you ever go to the Men's Warehouse and see Gary, dude's just so... I feel so bad about what this poor guy had to do. I mean, talk about going above and beyond. And he was sidled with the unfortunate task of calling me with this information, which that conversation was ridiculous. Oh, my God. Bring the suit coat back. Kevy puts it on. Turns out they actually sent the wrong suit coat. We needed a 46 executive. We got a 46 short. And so Gary's like, oh, my God. Well, thank God we still got time. Don't move. We sit down. He makes a phone call to the other store in Muskegon. Muskegon says, Gary, we got the 46 executive. We're going to hand deliver it. Then the tailor can do this thing. And boom. That takes about 10 minutes. Gary fills me in and everything. He goes, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I go, Gary, don't even worry about it, man. It's all right. We got this, and I know you got this. The shit has not been revealed yet. One person has been exposed to the shit at this point, and it's the tailor. She's traumatized. I come all the way home. I'm seated right here. Phone rings. It says Gary from the Men's Warehouse. I pick that fucker up. Hey, Gary. Hey, Eric. I just found out that the pants are done. They have finished tailoring the pants. And I'm like, okay. But I'm like, why are you calling me, though? Because I'm going to come back once or twice more anyway. Once to fit the jacket that the Muskegon store is bringing. And then I got to pick it all up. And then he's telling me this because he's just found out that the pants are full of shit. And he has to tell me in these words. So anyway, the pants are done, and I just talked to the tailor, and he's real monotone. He goes, your brother-in-law had an accident in the pants. There's poop in the pants. I'm like, what a fucking terrible conversation. This poor man has to tell me that the shit... He hasn't... Now, we own the pants. They are our pants. But there's shit in them. And I go, are you kidding me, Gary? He goes, no, I'm not kidding you. And I'm like, I'm not surprised. I'm thinking to myself, this is fucking horrible. He says, the tailor... tailored the pants with the feces in them. She actually cut the poo with scissors. She had gloves on. He told me, I'm not making it up. She put gloves on, and she goes, well, it's got to get done. And she's cutting shit like fucking Play-Doh Fun Factory and then doing the job. She did what a fucking trooper. I was mortified. I go, Gary, I'm so sorry you had to have this conversation with me. I'm on my way. And he goes, yeah, you're going to want... I go, so... He goes, this is what you do. You got to come get the pants and take them to the cleaners. And make sure you explain to the cleaners this conversation. Because you don't want to expose them. So think about this. All because one motherfucker will not wipe his ass. All of this takes place. And I forgot. I had to go to Gary. I go, Gary, he tried on another pair of pants. So Gary has to go through every pair of pants that we think could have been tried on and look to see if there's shit in them. This is why you wipe your ass. Well, I get up from here and I go, all right. And I go walking down the steps. I go, Kevin, please mute the TV. And I did remain calm. I didn't yell at him in any way. But I explained to him, I go, this is what happened. And, I told him, hang on a second here. Sorry. I told him everything that has unfolded. And so I'm upset, but I did not freak out. I had to remain calm. And I go, yeah, now I got to go put out this fire. I go, Kevin, I can't wipe your ass for you. Okay, I cannot do that. You are not using the wipes. You're not taking care of yourself. And now all of this happened. This is ridiculous. You need to do that. And you need to wear underwear. So he's got this look on it. He's not standoffish. He's accepting of this ridiculous. He can't believe it. He's very upset too. I made sure Diana stayed upstairs so that he didn't get embarrassed. I mean, she knows about it, but it's too much. This is just so fucked up. A few minutes go by. I'm getting ready to leave. He's had a conversation with Diana about he does use the wipes. And she says, no, I don't think you do. So then a short time later, he comes up to me and he says, hey, I'm really sorry about this. I go, okay, so yeah. And I didn't say, oh, you're okay, I forgive you. I was like, so when you go to the bathroom, do you use the wipes? And he says, sometimes I forget. I go, do you sometimes forget, or do you just not do it most of the time? Like that. It's like I'm talking to a child. And he goes, I don't do it. I go, thank you. Thank you for telling me the truth. You were lying to me, but you have now just told me the truth. And you lied to your sister. I go, this is like I'm talking to a little boy. I go, you're a 63-year-old man. This is just the craziest thing ever. Oh, my God. I go, yeah, dude, we have to be honest with each other. And you need to do this. I leave. I walk in. All the dudes from the Men's Warehouse, they're traumatized. Gary's there. He's huddled in a corner. The other two dudes are looking at me, and I go, not a word. Not a word. Look at Gary over there. He's already about to bust a fucking spring. Gary gives me the pants. Gary's like, well, it happens. And I'm like, no, Gary, it doesn't. No, it doesn't happen, Gary. Don't tell me it happens. I would pretty much be willing to bet that it's never happened. That this is the first actual time that you've had to call someone and say, hey, there's shit in the pants. Gary says, you're going to the cleaners, right? I go, yeah. He goes, good luck with that. Make sure you tell them everything you need to tell them. Us in the clothing industry, we stick together. I'll hear about it if you don't tell them. I go, Gary, don't worry, I'm going to tell them. I leave. I'm rehearsing what I need to say to the lady at the cleaners. So much so that I drove by the cleaners by 3 miles. I turned down my street, 6 miles. I turned down my street and I go, what the fuck? I forgot to go to the cleaners. The pants are in the back. I turn around. The pants are in a bag with the bottom tied. Again, I don't know if we have an actual squashed turd or just a big smear on the ass, but there's plenty of feces in there, according to Gary. Drive 6 miles back. Get out, and the lady's there. I have known her for years. And I go, hey, I got a good one for you. She goes, a good one? I go, a good story. And I, in full detail, tell her exactly what happened. And the color is draining out of her face. And she's looking at me like this, with this hell no look. And I finished explaining to her, and I go, I just wanted to tell you, and I want that now I'm going to ask you, can you clean the pants? Will you clean the pants? Jennison Cleaners, the absolute best. She goes, I can do it. And she was like, I could hear like patriotic music playing, you know, in my head. Like she was like proud to take the shit pants. And she goes, most people would not tell us that there is shit in the pants. That is some of the problems of this industry. People will deliver us shit pants. And they won't inform us it's the shit in the pants. And our employees are exposed to terrible things. We have actually had pair of pants where out of the bottom of the pants, matter will fall out of the pants. Like they haven't gotten the lion's share of the debris out of the pants. They just take a shit in the pants and say, here you go. And I said, well, I can't rule out that that is not the case here. I don't know. As you can see, they are in a bag. But I'm telling you, she goes, you've gone, the bar is low, Eric. We have had blankets that people have barfed on, and they don't remove the lion's share of the barf. And there's barf when we shake out there's barf flying throughout the cleaners. No, ma'am, I won't do that. I appreciate you. Okay, Eric. Pants will be ready Tuesday. That concludes what I hope is the last story I have about feces concerning my brother-in-law. We, in 2 years and 4 months, have amassed quite a collection of feces-themed stories since my brother-in-law moved in here. I could have a compilation. Like I think there's at least 5 gigantic stories that I have told about him and feces. So you can see how when I sat down here to tell this story, and if you have questions now in the chat, please include them. If you've written them once, write them again. Don't tell me to go up and look. I'm just not in the mood. I fucking forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, this concludes the feces story, and it like I indicated to you, as soon as it was all unfolding, before I had time to even process, when I was sitting here talking to Gary, who was informing me that there's feces in the pants, I was like, I need to hit go live, and I need to tell this. But then I said, no, Eric, trust the process. You need to absorb. You need to decompress. You need to experience the full scenario and let it hurt. Let it soak in there and feel that. Absorb that. Like the pants absorbed the feces. And frame in your brain, how are you going to make this story a reality for the world? I had somebody say to me, How can you tell these stories about your loved ones like that? It's like, look, if there's someone in my life who is willing to expose the world to feces like this, they need to be exposed. This is payback. This is my therapy. Can you imagine? He'd be dead right now. The NFK, I would have slaughtered him and ground up his body and spit it out into the woods at Fear Bunker North. If I did not have this outlet to explain to you the ridiculous fucking things that happen in this household, he'd be dead. As it is, this therapy of me talking to you metaphorically flushes it. It's gone. It leaves my brain. It's your problem now. I don't have to deal with it. That is all I have on that story. Does this man require medical attention? I can only imagine an unwiped ass would contain very painful skin rashes. I'm not sure what's going on there. I have been on the business end of his asshole. I am on the business end of his asshole many times a week when I help him shower. And you have a general appearance, mild redness, but nothing bad. Hang on, I'm getting a little Zenith smashing vibe here. Things been acting up lately. Why don't you buy boxer shorts from Men's Warehouse when you heard from him that he wasn't wearing underwear? Great question. I don't know. I do not know. I probably just said, roll the dice. What could go wrong? Silly me. Silly me. Corey asked, so how did the help him shower thing come along? Well, that came along because he had neck surgery and he couldn't do anything. And that just kind of stuck. And now as time has passed, he has floated the idea of taking his own showers. And we have said, no, you cannot reach. You cannot. And now looking back, if one doesn't have the opportunity or the ability to wipe one's ass, there is no way someone is going to be able to shower, Megan says, quote, you'll love the way you look, but you may smell like shit. That is a reference to the slogan of the Men's Warehouse. Amy writes, dry cleaners are the true American heroes. My God. Well, that's it. We live to fight another day. The pants are being cleaned. They'll be done soon. But what a damn saga. Thank you for being here in the Patreon bonus podcast. Darla loves you. There she is looking at you, looking adorable as usual. Bruce, sound asleep. O'Neill on the floor. Me. Just got my... Kenney had mentioned on the show the Larabar. Is it Larabar or Lorabar? I think it's Larabar. Kenney got me hooked on those. He had mentioned that he eats the Larabar from time to time. And I think there are only like 4 or 5 ingredients. They're life-changing. Now, Pooh Bear bought some of that peanut butter and chocolate shit. And I hate those goddamn things. Peanut butter and chocolate, anything, I'm tough. Other than maybe a Reese's peanut butter cup. I'm not a big fan of the combination of Reese's or of like peanut butter and chocolate. And they put that in everything. You can get anything that's peanut butter and chocolate flavor. You got to go with either the lemon Larabar the apple or the blueberry? The blueberry, why the fuck am I even talking about this? The hell is wrong with me? I don't know. I feel really good. I am on fire right now. Not like warm. I just feel like today is the day that, okay, this is giving me a real feel for how this is going to be. And this puts me closer to grabbing Rick from TC Paintball and say, do you remember when you told me that I could not pull off doing a morning show and then doing the podcast? Do you remember when you said that? Do you know what type of fire you stoked into your old pal EZ? That it has made me into a juggernaut. If you want to guarantee that it's going to be done, pretty much tell me I can't do it. You do not have what it takes to do that, Eric Zane. And then there's a better chance that it can be done, that it will be done. Thy will be done. Yesterday at Bosco's, I made an observation. There was a couple that came in, and they ordered fantastic food, great hamburgers. They got the fries, they got the drinks, and they were seated across from the table. And before I noticed, I walked out, and they were holding hands, and their heads were down. And they were thanking baby Jesus for the food. Thank you, Tofus. I appreciate that. I'll check it out. And it was at that point that I realized that the whole thanking baby Jesus for the food has been in the playbook like forever. But, because without the food, we can't survive. But have you ever wondered, maybe we should add to the playbook praying to Jesus when you have to take a shit, because that's equally important for that used food to leave. And you could come up with a whole litany of things that you could say, thanking Jesus for the ability to shit. Now, that might not be something he's interested in. Hell, he might not even be interested in hearing from you when you're thanking him for the food. I mean, for millennia now, people have been doing that. However long it's been that people have been thanking baby Jesus for the food. My guess is it might be a good idea to start thanking baby Jesus for the ability to take a dump. Thank him for everything. If you think about it. All right. Oops. Aaron says this took a turn. Well, it's true. I mean, that's equally important. How come we don't thank him for every time we take a drink of anything? Justin has responded to your old pal EZ. First of all, a Chris Ovaltine Jenkins Varian responded with ambulance chaser. Remember, Justin called me an ambulance chaser. How is Eric an ambulance chaser? Do better? I mean, what the fuck? You bring lawsuits against all your employers. Yeah, you're going to get blacklisted. How the fuck are you not seeing this? Yeah, nice gaslighting, by the way, man. I really thought you were better than this shit. I wrote exactly to that guy. Radio is not keeping him from getting a job or doing a podcast. Justin writes this. Eric Zane, take some time reading the comments from the people I've connected with over the years. Feel the positive energy I've been putting out. Now read yours again. Eric, just stop, man. You know the business and know what a contract is. I won't hide your negativity and false opinions from my page because I want to lead by example on how to handle someone like you. I don't know what I ever did to you, but I ask you for forgiveness. I'm sorry I hurt you. I ask that you keep your negative thoughts to yourself and your audience. I spent years with people talking about you and all your faults. I have stayed Switzerland and showed you nothing but love and respect. You continue to harass and hound me about stuff that you know absolutely nothing about. This is the last time I will entertain anything you have to say. I love you, and I'm rooting for your happiness. God bless. Oh, my God. He's such a preachy fuck, Linda writes, with nothing to back it up. Jesus. Aaron says, I do not subscribe here for the positive energy. Tophus writes, vomit. I see what's up. Tophus was a nice person that I responded to on there. I get it now. Tophus adds, wait a minute. You go from A to Z and not in that order. What the fuck was that word salad? Tophus is doing the heavy lifting. That's fantastic. Wow. Maureen says he most certainly does not love me. No, of course not. Good fucking gaslighting everybody. Pissing on my back, telling me it's raining, you fucking moron. Linda says, I didn't think it was possible for me to hate him more. Tophus, do you still listen to Free Beer and Hot Wings, or what got you out of it? If not, I'm just curious. What was like, God, it just isn't clicking with me. I'm always curious as to, and if you still listen, that's totally cool. I don't care. I know a lot of people still listen. They listen out of habit. Back to what I was talking about. Bob writes, thank you, baby Jeebus, for this beautiful bowel movement. May it only require no more than 3 wipes. Amen. I think we need to start praying before we take a dump. I won't hide your negativity, but I won't stop you from being negative. Tophus says no, and I don't listen anymore. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't want to see. I have to put my thoughts together on my response. I kept it very simple. I just, dude, I don't get what you mean about lawsuit is keeping you from working in radio. Tophus says, after Joe beat a woman, I stopped listening altogether. After he got caught. Yeah, that's all allegedly. We don't know anything, of course. That's all allegedly. We don't want to do anything that would jeopardize your old pal EZ. You know. I always play it above board. I don't ever have to take anything back. Yeah. All right. I'll respond to Justin later on. I'm busy working. So I don't know if you remember the story about Shohei Ohtani, who is this phenomenal baseball player from Japan. He kicked ass with the Los Angeles Angels. And just a few months ago, he signed a deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Excuse me. And he's taking like the league minimum. He deferred the payment that the Dodgers make to him. He's making millions of dollars, but he agreed to defer it, which I think should be illegal in baseball. It gets past like the salary cap. It's a workaround so that a team that doesn't have the salary cap overhead to be able to pay a top level player like Ohtani is. It allows them to do that. It's fucking cheating. It's legal cheating is what it is. Ohtani himself is rumored to be like the nicest person on the planet. Everybody loves Shohei Ohtani. This year, he'll be only a regular player, not a pitcher. That's the other fantastic thing about it. He is a a top-level Major League Baseball pitcher and he's a top-level everything. But he's recovering from, he's healing after surgery, so he won't be able to pitch for a year, but he still is going to be playing. This is all cool, except for the fact that the Dodgers got him kind of in a fucked up way. But Ohtani, he said through his interpreter, I don't even care about the money. I make so much goddamn money now. So he's taking like the minimum, and the Dodgers will pay him back at the end of the deal. It doesn't come off the salary cap. And he makes literally hundreds of millions of dollars as in being a pitch man for whatever the fuck. And then I just heard that, remember I mentioned the interpreter. He can't say anything without an interpreter. The interpreter is now up Schitt's Creek because he was pilfering Ohtani's bank account and stealing from him to pay off gambling debts. He was fired yesterday because it looked like at least $4.5 million was taken out of Ohtani's bank account to pay off bookies. Ipe Mizuhara, the longtime friend and interpreter for Ohtani, incurred the gambling debts, and then somebody got tipped off about it. They started to ask some questions, and the next thing you know, boom. Initially, a spokesperson for Ohtani told ESPN that Ohtani had transferred the funds to cover the gambling debt. That's what I thought he would do. I mean, if it's his close friend, Ohtani's got all the money in the world. The spokesman presented Mizuhara to ESPN for a 90-minute interview Tuesday night, during which Mizuhara laid out his account in great detail. However, as ESPN prepared to publish the story Wednesday, the spokesman disavowed Mizuhara's account and said Ohtani's lawyers would issue a statement. So before they did the story about, hey, Shohei paid off this asshole's gambling debts, he's so great, they're like, wait a minute, it didn't happen like that. In the course of responding to recent media inquiries, we discovered that Shohei has been the victim of a massive theft, and we are turning the matter over to the authorities, read the statement from Burke Brettler, LLP. Spokesman declined to answer any further questions, and the statement did not specify whom they believe perpetrated the alleged theft. My God. The developments this week came as federal investigators are examining the operation run by Southern California bookmaker Matthew Boyer. The wire transfer payments were sent from Ohtani's account to an associate of Boyer's, according to multiple sources and bank data received by ESPN. Mizuhara told ESPN that Ohtani does not gamble and that the funds had covered his losses. Wow. This is huge. There's a little bit more to it. I'll link it up if you're interested. But yeah, baseball season. This is what moves the meter for your old pal EZ. I think I have to actually start following more sports, like the Red Wings play tonight. And I guess I'm doing a sports talk show every Friday with my new employer. They own 2 radio stations. They own Q100, and they own a sports station. And they have a sports talk show that goes from like 9 to 10. No, 10 to 11 on Friday. So the idea is I get done with, okay, this is how it ends. Friday will be different because my radio show will end at 8:50 or 9 o'clock. Let's just say I'm only on until 9. Because from 9 to 10, you get to hear Northern Focus. Now, Northern Focus is, this is what we call a public affairs show. Where they, they talk about things going on in the community. Hey, there's a charity fish fry going on at Spike's. Let's talk to the owner of Spikes. Talk about serving the community. Public radio, or not public radio stations, all radio stations that have an FCC license, they have to keep the public file up to date with moments like this. And then you submit the interview on the FCC's website and an affidavit describing what is happening. And if you don't do that, when it comes time to renew the license, the FCC will scrutinize you and say, okay, you're making money selling commercials and your programming, but you're not doing anything to further the public good. You don't get a license. So the Northern Focus show satisfies that, and they put it at the end of my show. I'm not hosting it. JC is, who may or may not, he has to record it, you know. Then after that, JC and I and another dude named Rich Calkins, not the Rich Calkins that Linda used to work with, I don't think at least, do a sports talk show. So that is going to be Friday. I think. They haven't said easy. I'm hoping they forget, because I don't know fucking shit about sports. If I do anything sports related, it's kind of a mystery how I'm able to pull it off. The fact that I had to sit in there and do the huge show for 5 days last week is a goddamn miracle. Ugh. Fucking A. Tophus writes, it's hard to respond to someone whose train of thought has been influenced by doing meth on a roof. Patrick says, there is no Major League Baseball. There is no MLB, does not have a salary cap. Oh. Really? Ryan says, speaking of huge, I wish we could check in with Bill. I don't believe you. I think the real trick to success is either A, being a genetic marvel, or B, being a grimy scumbag who cons and steals. Thank you. I thought baseball had a salary cap. Let me double check that. Does baseball have a salary cap? They do not. Well, that takes away everything that I fucking said. That pretty much shoots that in the asshole. Well, I had heard that when they signed Ohtani, the price tag would have been debilitating to the team. And they wouldn't have been able to afford him. So he did defer the payment. So that's kind of embarrassing. But that's the long and the short of it. A Realtor in Sydney, Australia, was getting ready to have an open house on a $3 million property. She got everything ready to go. Make sure the house is clean. If there's anyone in the house, make sure they're not in there. Sydney, Australia real estate agent Julie Bundock was preparing for the open house at the 4-bedroom home on the northern beaches of Sydney's beachfront community. She noticed the current renters of the house had left some bedding on the deck to dry. She removed the sheets and threw them in a downstairs room. You know, mess relocation. I do that all the time. Like when Dave Grant came here and JJ to set this shit up. There was so much shit between here and the front door. I just grabbed everything and threw it into a side bedroom. It's still there. It's a fucking mountain of shit. It's mess relocation. I can clean this entire area and make it look like I keep a clean house if I employ mess relocation. If mess relocation protocols are in play, You can walk into my house and be like, God damn, you keep a clean house. I've gone so far as to take all of the dishes out of the sink and put them into a hefty bag gently because someone's coming over, and put them in a bedroom. Put the dish, and then when they leave, you take them out and you clean the dishes. Happens all the goddamn time with me. That's what she's doing. 20 minutes later, this is what the house looked like. That's not what the house looked like. Hang on. That sucks. No, that's not right either. Looks like this. It's burning to the ground. Wow. So here's a lady. She's all excited about it. And then, no, not a shark. But yeah, this is what the house looked like. It's burning up. It burned all the way to the ground. $3 million piece of property looks like this now. Jesus. And now the story is starting to come out. It's actually quite old. It happened quite some time ago. What came up on the screen was my emergency alert compliance training for iHeart. They said, get this done or you can't work here anymore. The owner of the property, Peter Allen Bush, who was preparing to sell it, took the matter to court, and the story is coming out now. As did the 4 renters of the property who had their belongings destroyed in the fire. The homeowner told the court that after the fire, the realtor said words to the effect of, "Oh my God, I think I burnt your house down," he claimed, she said in the presence of others. I don't understand. Okay, it says I had been doing some tidying up. I collected some sheets drying on the veranda, and I threw them on top of a freestanding metal shelving in the bedroom under the stairs. I just threw them there, Pete, right up against the light on the wall. I think that's what started the fire. It turns out it did. The chief judge handed down his judgment on Tuesday in Supreme Court, ruling that Bundock actively created the risk of fire and the consequent harm. The judge ordered the employer of the realtor, Domain Residential Northern Beaches, to pay the homeowner $740,000 for the loss of the house and $121,000 to the 4 renters. It sounds like they got a shitty deal, though. It's a $3 million house. Insurance probably, but still. The judge also ordered the agency to pay interest on the combined $862,315 from the time of the fire back in 2019. That a fire be caused by putting a throwing bedding up against a burning light is obvious. That risk was plenty foreseeable. And Bundock ought to have known this. I don't know how obvious it is. I mean, unless if she laid the light bulb on the fucking thing. My God. Can you imagine when when they say, hey, the house is on fire? You're right away like, uh-oh. What did I do? What did I do? You're thinking back. How did I even, could I have caused this? That'd be the first thing you think of. And then for the love of God, don't talk. Keep your mouth shut. Bob asks, were the sheets soaked in gasoline? That's ridiculous. Patrick writes, concerning the baseball salary cap that doesn't exist, there's a luxury tax for teams that don't have the spending power that, say, the Yankees do, so I'm not sure the implications of that. Perhaps that's what it is. Call up Huge and ask him for some advice on your new sports show. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can take this. The Spartans just got underway, so I doubt he's paying attention. Go Spartans. I wonder how they're doing right now. This is the time. They're playing like the 8th seed. They are the 9th seed. I picked them winning the first 2 games. Early on in the first half, they're beating Mississippi State 27-18. Yeah, I don't want to bug him. He gets antsy when he's watching sports. He's no fun to be around. All right, we talked about the squatter standoff. All right. I think I'm done. I got nothing else for you. Okay, I won't be at Bosco's tonight, in case anybody was thinking they just called. Doug's trying to work. I said to him, all right, if you get tired or pass out or some shit because of your closed head injury, let me know, and I'll be there to help you. Ryan says my bracket is going to kick your ass. There's no way I'm losing to any of you dumb shits. That is my time. Sorry it's short. I'm going back to fight with Justin. Have a good one. Till next time. Bye-bye. Welcome into the Eric St. Show podcast on Patreon. Appreciate you for being here. Part of the day's worth of content that we have each and every day. Like there's a cavalcade of people that are helping me with it. All right. Keep hearing a story about John Mellencamp. I saw a couple people had talked about it, and Adam Balboa sent it along that John Mellencamp got upset at a heckler at a show, I think, in Toledo, Ohio. And then, according to what I just saw, makes a whole audience pay for the heckler. The heckler was saying, play us the hits, as I understand it. That's all I know. A heckler said, play us the hits. And John didn't like it. Let's take a look. Oops. I don't want that. I don't want to hear myself. Okay. Here we go.
Well, I shouldn't have said that.
Sorry about the small picture, but I'm gonna keep it there because TikTok's real finicky.
Because here came that little arthritic finger right in my face, and she went, "It's just like you, buddy, to be a smart aleck when I'm talking to Jesus." And then it got real
I guess at this point he was telling a story, and then he got heckled.
quiet.
Uh-oh. Oh. Why don't you play some music?
What do you think I've been doing, you cocksucker?
Oh my God. Oh, yes.
Don't know me.
So far, I'm Team John Mellencamp.
You don't fucking know me. Hey, Joe, find this guy and let me see him after the show. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted,
all right, you see, now they're all doing it. He's getting really annoyed now.
Guys, I can stop this show right now and just go home.
Grandma was waving her arthritic finger. We're totally listening.
Tell you what I'm going to do. Since you've been so wonderful, I'm going to cut about 10 songs out of the show. Here we go. A little ditty about Jack Diane. Two magic kids going up in the heartland.
Jackie gonna be.
Show's over.
He ended the show. He ended the show. Oh, no. Okay. Too much, John. Oh, he started playing Jack and Diane, one of the greatest songs ever. Are you kidding me? Oh. Little ditty about Jack and Diane. He started that two American kids growing up in the heartland. I want to hear that song now. Jack gonna be a football star. Of Jackie's car. I like how he started Jack and Diane. You know, they don't know if he's lying about cutting the show short. And then he just says, fuck you. Oh, my God. Oh, no. That's spectacular. I think people don't like that he responded that way. They think it's too much. As a professional, I mean, for starters, him telling a long-winded story, and I don't know how long he was talking. Would I yell out, play some music? No, because I know how much that pisses me when I'm in the middle of something and somebody says, change the subject or move on or shut up. It's really, really top-level rudeness. But I think he covered it with calling the guy a cocksucker. I mean, at that point, you've got an even trade-off. Or he could have even just said, you're right. Just bear with me. Or laughed it off. Not giving in. Easier said than done, believe me. I mean, take it from a resident hothead. Okay? But now it's like, he says, you know what? Show's over. Oh. Wow. I need to, this sounds like something that I could talk about in my 30 seconds that I talk on Q100, but I don't know if I could because, you got to have it in its pure form where John Mellencamp calls the guy a sea-sucker or a cocksucker. I don't know why I abbreviated it or truncated it. Linda says his daughter was a real housewife of Beverly Hills. She's a diva, too. I saw Mellencamp. He was on it was a show with Bill Maher. We covered it on Who Are These Broadcasters? And he's kind of an idiot. And Bill Maher gives him shit about it because they're pals. He goes, John, I think you're talking completely out of your asshole right here. And he goes, I know. All right. So do we hate Mellencamp for ending the show? Because however many people are there, basically one or two have then ruined it for everybody. He's punishing his fans like that. I think that was too much. You can't end the show because somebody starts to heckle you. And, frankly, what do you expect? You're there to play Jack and Diane and Pink Houses and Get a Leg Up and Paper and Fire and ROCK in the USA. And here you are. You're talking about grandma's gnarled up finger pointing at you. You can't. I mean, you got to chalk that up to anything goes when you start to do that. You got to be careful What do you expect? You're supposed to be playing those songs, and you're doing a fucking story time. If I suddenly went on here on this show and completely changed what I was doing, you would probably heckle me too or ask questions. Linda says, I would have demanded a refund for sure. Stevie says, I think it was too much. He looks like a snowflake for that. Yeah, exactly. If he had just, my opinion is when he swore at the guy, he should have stopped there. Or actually, probably the best would have been if he just rolled with it, laughed it off, and said, stick with me, I'm almost done, and then quickly got to the end of the... Hey, it's your old pal EZ with my latest and greatest sponsor, Uncommon Goods. Found at uncommongoods.com. This is a fantastic gift site for that special someone on your list. Could be holiday related, could be birthday related, could be for you related, or just because you're awesome to that someone special. We're talking about amazing gifts that Uncommon Goods has scoured the internet for, from artisan crafters and people that make cool stuff that you want. They describe it as give a gift that sparks joy, wonder, delight, and that it's exactly what I wanted feeling. They will feel that way when they check out what you have taken the time to discover at Uncommon Goods. There's all sorts of different categories for you to shop. Food and drink, gardening, pets and animals, reading, sports. Like, for example, I click on sports, and I'm just checking out all these amazing gifts that somebody would love. Maybe some decorative coffee mugs or shot glasses, things like that with your favorite team's logo on them. All sorts of fun books related to sports. The list goes on and on. I mean, seriously, you can scroll for hours and hours and just see some amazing things that you could get somebody for a gift, because that's what it's all about, you know? And to make it extra simple for you, I can give you 15% off your next gift. Go to uncommongoods.com/Zane. Uncommongoods.com/Zane for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. I can't stress that enough. This is awesome. Start your shopping at uncommongoods.com. Story knowing that he's losing the audience. According to this, David Yankee, a retired newspaper reporter, was in the crowd and wrote on Facebook that Mellencamp seemed to be in a bad mood from the start of the night. It was St. Patrick's Day, and maybe a few people in the crowd had a few too many green beers, but overall the fans were well behaved. About 5 minutes after John stormed off stage, the violinist and accordionist came back out with the violinist holding her finger to her lips, as in shush, and played the real life, backed by a spoken word recording of Joanne Woodward. The curtain soon parted on the side of the stage, and Mellencamp walked back out, smoking a cigarette, strapped on a Telecaster, and launched into Rain on the Scarecrow with no further mention of the incident. The concert ended about an hour and a half in all. Oh, all right, that changes it to some degree. I thought he left and did not come back. All right. Okay, if he came back out, no big deal. Let's see. Is there anything else on this? Being angry and crotchety has been Mellencamp's mode of operation. If you want to get into government, I can get into it with you real quick, John Mellencamp said. I don't know what this is from. You probably didn't want to hear this conversation with me, but here's the deal. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the Democrats. I don't trust Republicans. I don't know what this is all about. All right, I'll just leave it right there. So that's fucking fantastic. I'm really glad it happened. By the way, that guy, I don't give a shit if he does do that. His songs are the fucking greatest. I love John Mellencamp. fucking amazing. I don't give a shit how crotchety he is. To me, overall, he gets a pass. And he came back, finished the set. He's a goddamn legend. I want to read for you now what I saw on Reddit. It is another masterpiece of a news account of your old pal EZ. Big Fraud Zane wraps up first week on Q100, treats listeners to 18 minutes of dead air. These are my favorite thing to read. Ryan writes, you can probably relate to Mellencamp after being heckled by Amanda, Aram, and Kenney. They're always interrupting your stories. Yeah, I can relate. Kenney writes, you mean Corey? Yeah, he's definitely part of it. Kenny writes, where's the follow-up video about those obnoxious fans getting their asses beat by everyone else? That's what I'd want to see. I don't know if at a Mellencamp show there would be any ass kicking. People would probably have heart attacks. They're so goddamn old. I mean, that is some old-ass shit. Now, Kenny, I know that would be described as boring music, which Kenny mouthed off again on Reddit about the Carly Simon song, You're So Vain. This is 2 days removed after he got his ass beat on this podcast. Okay, so Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Carly Simon, one of the most prolific singer-songwriters in the history of the industry, not just women, the industry. Carly Simon. Dickhead sends a link to Faster Pussycat. I almost said Putty Tat. Their version of You're So Vain. Everybody's ears start bleeding. Another ugly Kenney music incident. He references that song and other songs that he thinks are like it, like the Beatles. He often says it's boring music, as if people listen to music, certain types of music, and go, oh, this is so exciting. Only a moron would listen to music because it's, quote, exciting. Anyone who's moved by music in a way that they describe it as exciting is a simpleton and listens to shit music. It's boring. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Melody, verses, lyrics you can understand, a story. Yeah, that's boring. My God. This is the same guy who he also said, yeah, that Faster Pussycat, I don't remember it being so bad, but I still prefer it over the boring Carly Simon song. You asshole. Bob says that cover sucked. But he says the cover you played, EZ, of Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald was great. Oh, yeah. Of course. It's expertly written. Well, not written. It was already written. But arranged and performed by Headstones. Thank you, Cole. Cole is the one who introduced me to Headstones. God bless him. I've never felt better about life since I started listening to Headstones music out of beautiful Kingston, Ontario. Anyway, I bring up the Reddit page because this article has been published. In it, it includes a pic of EZ plugging in the microphone to be able to get the phone feed on the show so that I can have conversations with people. I've quite literally just picked up this microphone and held my speakerphone to it, and it's worked fucking fantastically for more than 5 years. This animal writer of this horrible article has so many terrible things to say. You'll love it, though. I don't have any idea who this is. Grayling, Michigan. In a week that can only be described as an unintentional master class in radio silence, Eric Zane, parentheses, big fraud, concluded his inaugural week on Q100 Michigan with an impressive display of technical ineptitude, treating listeners to a whopping 18 minutes of dead air scattered throughout the week. Remarkably, all technical flubs were promptly owned up to by the man himself on his Friday sign-off on Q100. Quote, as long as he's not playing Family Guy, You've Got AIDS over commercials, this show should last big fraud years and years of good years, remarked one optimistic listener, offering a hopeful outlook on the future of the program. But despite the unexpected silence, fans were quick to praise the show's authenticity and the humble nature of Big Fraud. Sure, there were a few hiccups here and there, but overall the show was actually great, remarked one dedicated listener. And you have to admire the humility of Big Fraud for owning up to his mistakes. It's refreshing in an industry that often takes itself too seriously. Fans, however, seem unfazed by the mishaps, instead rejoicing in the charm that the technical improvements to the Eric Zane Broadcasting Studio, perched high atop in MAGA-infested Ottawa County, Michigan, have brought to the show. Quote, it's like a throwback to the good old days of radio, when imperfections were part of the charm, noted an anonymous radio engineer who has been laid off 4 times in the past 9 years, clearly savoring the nostalgic ambiance amid the chaos. Big Fraud recounted to listeners on his podcast the jaw-dropping moment when he inadvertently broadcast dead air after queuing up a song via his iPad on Spotify, then wandering off, presumably for a coffee run or a speedy trip to take a big steaming morning shit. Returning to the studio, he discovered the awkward truth. Not only had he failed at wiping his anus, the song had ended, leaving listeners in a state of bewildered silence. A true lights on but no one's home situation that likely had Q100 engineers questioning if the Big Fraud had pressed the wrong button. Yet, even as Zane attempts to maintain a veneer of professionalism on Q100 mornings with the show in Zane Asylum, his podcast tells a different tale. In a recent episode, Zane was heard giving airtime to a guest who no longer advertises on his podcast, with the guest claiming Zane had texted him about a bizarre topic. Yo, tomorrow I'm doing a tribute to guys who watch their wives get their snatches eaten out by dogs. When confronted during the podcast, Zane's response was simply, it's just something that popped into my brain because that's what the Queen of the Forest said she wanted me to do. Quipped Zane, offering a curious explanation for his latest episode in hilarity. One listener jokingly speculated he probably ordered peanut butter from Amazon right after that. We're positively delighted to witness Eric's ascent on Q100, but let's not forget the gem that is his podcast, remarked a fervent listener. It's akin to having a VIP pass to the inner sanctum of a mind brimming with utter nonsense. And really, where else would you find such a treasure trove of trash and an old man yelling at clouds? While Nielsen ratings for WQON Q100 mornings are still unavailable, one can only assume that the numbers will eventually trickle in once electricity and plumbing are brought to northern Michigan. Until then, listeners can continue to tune in for what promises to be a wild ride through the quirky world of Big Fraud Eric Zane. Incredible. Whoever that soul is that is writing that, it is it's pure joy to read. To read something so expertly written. My God. Thank you for taking the time to write something so fantastic. Nick weighs in with a scathing review of the headstone's wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald and says that Lightfoot cover was an abomination. You sick fuck. Ryan writes, ha, I'm sorry, big fraud. It's me. I know it's you. Of course I know it's you, you dumbass. Yeah, Nick, you're fucking crazy. Headstones are better than all that shit you listen to. You are just a half step above Kenney in musical taste. Half step. He is the absolute worst, without a doubt. Okay. It's been a busy day for child porno in West Michigan. I think all these stories are coming to light because maybe the cops round them up in batches. We had the story during the free podcast about the psychopath who was working in the local school as a janitor. And then the mom's spider sense was saying, keep an eye on this guy to a friend. And meanwhile, Psycho was communicating with police and downloading kiddie porn. That guy's busted. Out of Greenville, Michigan, a dude there is arrested and charged in another child porn case. 41-year-old Adam Lee Kunst. I swear to God. His name is spelled K-U-N-S-T. Kunst. Side note, about 10 years ago, triathlon. It was known as the Jennison Triathlon. I forgot the name of the guy who was the race director, but this just popped into my brain when I was reading that name. Kunst. After the race, they give the awards, and I was hanging around while they're doing it, and I'm probably 15 feet away from the guy who's announcing who all right, in third place, 25 to 29 is so-and-so. And it was a lady who did well, and you know where this is going, and it was Kuntz. I think her first name was Sheila or whatever the fuck. Doesn't matter. But he actually said, he goes, all right, third place, women, 35, 39. Round of applause for Sheila Kuntz. And you hear a groan. And then he goes, Kuntz, Sheila Kuntz. Are you here, Sheila Kuntz? And I'm like, Ryan. I think his name was Ryan. I go, dude. I think it's Kuntz. I think that's always the default. Like if you see, even if it's spelled C-U-N-T-S, Kuntz, you always go Kuntz. And then if they correct you, you just nod. But this was Kuntz, and he went with Kuntz. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. You got to go with the Kuntz. Same thing with Koch. The idiot brain of me wants to say, hey, let's welcome the Cox. The Cox are here. It's always Coke. My cousin married into a Koch family. My cousin, Patty. She's Patty Koch. Yeah, like legit. Patty Koch is her name, but I mean, you got to say Coke. I've never called her Patty Koch. I call her Patty all the time, and I just avoid the last name. It's so embarrassing. Hi, this is Patty Koch calling. God damn it. Nick continues to dog the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by headstones. I'll get back to that story in a second. He says they didn't even follow the pace or use the main riff. You dumbass, they absolutely did. First of all, they do it double time, and they're a punk band, so there's that. They stayed true to their style, and they did all but the last minute and a half like that, and then they did the first verse again in the same 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 waltz style of 3/4 time of Gordon Lightfoot. They arranged it with the up-tempo stuff, double time, and then went to the original time signature on the last minute and a half of that song. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you were here, I'd smack the taste out of your mouth. You shut the fuck up. Tough talk. Okay, anyway. This guy Kunst, charged with 1 count of child sexually abusive material, 1 count of aggravated distribution of child sexually abusive material, on and on. Whole list of charges. Faces up to 20 years in prison for this one. Let's see. He was arrested following an investigation that began when the MSP Computer Crimes Unit, Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, learned that Kunst was allegedly distributing child sexually abusive material on the internet. When investigators searched the home, digital evidence was found, and that's the end of it. Another one. This wacko out of Ohio was planning, had started talking to a mother, a 59-year-old dude from Ohio, Urbana, Ohio. William George Moon is his name. He started talking to a woman online, and she revealed that she was willing to traffic her 12-year-old daughter. And the guy was like, absolutely. And like it was worked out that he was going to have sex with the mom and the daughter. That the mom was offering the 12-year-old girl for sex. And this guy said, I'm all about it. Can I have sex with you and your daughter? And she said, hell yeah. They met on a porno website and then moved to the messaging platform Tox. This just happened. Wyoming, Michigan. The two had a long conversation about all what's going down. Detailed all the sex acts. Mom's like, I'm all about it. You can have sex with my daughter and me. Transcripts of the conversation, all there. Dude said, can you send me nude videos of you and your daughter so that I can know this is legit? So, because he was suspicious it could be a cop. Well, she never did do that. But the guy, it didn't stop him. She never sent that, which is a pretty good move on his part. I mean, if you want to avoid detection, make sure it's not a cop. Send me porno of you and your daughter having a 69. And she didn't. But then this guy was like, fuck it, I'm coming anyway. Well, he's talking to a room full of dude cops. He drives into Michigan, racking up the charges all the way. So this is all going down. The undercover officer, of course, did not send the video. And but still, the guy decided to meet mom in person without the daughter. This guy's so hard up for sex. He's driving from Ohio to Michigan to do this. What a pain in the ass. The undercover officer and the target agreed the purpose of this meeting would be only to confirm neither were in law enforcement and were, in fact, who each other claimed to be. The criminal complaint reads. Meanwhile, cops requested subscriber info from the porno website for the suspect's username, including IP address and email. They gave it to him. Using the IP address info, cops found his address to be in Urbana between Dayton and Columbus. They got a warrant to track the dude's cell phone and seize and search devices he had when he arrived at the meeting. And they did that. They tracked his phone. They are watching him online when he leaves. They're tracking the phone. They go, there he is. He just pinged there. Another 20 miles. Just pinged there. Here he comes. He showed up at a deli in Wyoming, Michigan, right over here. Cops were there. Moon confirmed his username on the porno site and the messaging app, according to the police documents, and then admitted that he discussed having sex with a 12-year-old girl and had an interest in children. Now, I don't know if he did that when it was still an undercover operation or they have revealed that, hey, you're in trouble. Moon stated it was possible he would have had sex with the 12-year-old girl if presented with the opportunity, but stated he could not think that far in advance, according to the criminal complaint. My God, he totally tipped his hand. He also admitted to receiving child porno from others on his phone, but said he deleted it. I think he realized he was caught and is cooperating with his own trial. I mean, he's giving them all this evidence. Jesus Christ. I think that these sickos, when they do that, they're almost like relieved. In this case, that's what it sounds like to me. Like, oh, I've been caught. Well, I might as well just admit everything. Jesus, fuck. Oh, my God. Let's see. He was charged with coercion and enticement, which carries a sentence of 10 years to life, as well as travel with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct. That includes a sentence of 30 years with a supervised release. Blah, blah. Fines up to $250,000. Not the first time that this has happened. Oh, my God. In 2005, he chatted with an undercover cop posing as a 14-year-old. They made plans to meet for her to pay for sex. For her to pay... Wait a minute. That's weird. It says her to pay her for sex. This should be him. He arrived at the location to wait for the girl to walk outside, but instead was taken into custody. He was convicted of soliciting sexual contact with a minor, which is a felony. Pleaded guilty in 2006. 3 years of probation for that. You see, that's the problem. 3 years of probation for that. You should just be shot in the face for that. That should be the sentence. God damn it. Unbelievable. Yeah, these pedophiles will do anything. They will go out of their way. Ryan writes, headline, desperate Ohio dirt dweller ventures to Michigan in quest for tryst with mother-daughter duo. Do we say tryst or tryst? I've heard it both ways. Nick writes, I only made it 30 seconds into the Headstone song because it was so bad. I will re-review. Yeah, you jerk. Bob says the holy diver into Tenacious D was gold. I'm glad you heard that. Kenney says best part of the show, Sir Bob. Yeah, I don't want to hear from you anything musically for a week. After you said those horrible things about Carly Simon, you sick fuck. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring it to a close this broadcast week. Thank you for being here. Okay, if you are on the 7-day trial plan right now, remember tomorrow is a Big Fraud Saturday. You're going to want to be here for this. My God, golden version of Who Are These Zanes? As we go way back in time to the early 2000s for Ben to review some old free beer and hot wings with Eric Zane. In fact, the show that I gave Ben is day 2 of free beer and hot wings from beautiful Trenton, New Jersey and the Jersey Shore. You will want to check that out. Starts tomorrow. I haven't even picked a time yet. Stay tuned. I will send you the info. Stevie says she's going to miss the show tomorrow. She's probably, I don't know what the hell you're doing. A busy Saturday for that sweet young lady. Thank you, folks. Wish me luck with the urologist, physician's assistant. I'll talk to you next time. Till then, have a good one. Thank you, and bye-bye. All right. Coffeed. Yeah. If a pooch starts looking at you like they got to go potty, who am I to keep that from them? I can't have a dog struggling and cry. I mean, that would make me feel terrible. Make sure you can see her. There's Darla looking at us. She's happy. Hello, honey. Hi. She's like, yeah, fuck off. What's going on since I left? This qualifies as dead air. Hopefully this doesn't make the news. Big Fraud News Network is my favorite news network. I'm a huge fan of the Big Fraud News Network. Headline idea. Big Fraud's Patreon bonus show. Turnkey operation sees host flip camera. See what Darla did. Flip camera on, wander off to run errands while generic music loops in background. Dog takes blame for Eric's 20-minute shit at the start of the podcast. Chris writes, great show. Time for a doctor's appointment. Darla's on the loose, I bet. Or the NFK is, Chris writes. Yeah, no, they were on a leash. It just takes time. It's 4 dogs. You know? Maureen says she's so adorably cute. This is true. Now she's like kind of just laying on the ground at my feet. Okay, so I am in the process of reposting the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast from yesterday. From Saturday. There was some discussion about whether or not Ashley had given me permission to give that story. Ryan had said she did not. And then Ryan had a theory that she just showed her boobies to get me to edit it, to take that part of the story out. I don't know. I really don't know. I am seeing here, though. Maureen says she gave permission to tell that story at the 10-minute and 30-second mark. More specifically, where is it? She writes, hi, Eric. I'm going to save you the trouble of going back to Ben and Eric to see if Ashley gave you the okay to tell that story. She did. She writes, no editing necessary. She did start off saying, no, don't tell it. She did not give you permission. So you stopped, and I said, so I can't tell the end of the story. And she says, okay, and throws up her hands, followed shortly thereafter by boob flashing and getting said dude on the show. This exchange starts at the 10:30 mark. So while protesting at first, she ultimately does give her okay to finish the story. And, of course, helps fill it out with more details. There you have it. You're welcome. Sorry. Oh, sorry so long. And, you know, honestly, it's okay. I wrote on on the chat, I said, I think she might have changed her mind. So if she did change her mind and then said, well, I mean, that's what she said today. She made it seem like she was not happy with that. So, I'm okay with taking it down. I don't have a problem with any of that. If somebody isn't happy, it's not the end all here. Like I've had to edit shit out in the past too, and people have been like, "Hey, can you take this out?" I've done that. That's okay. I mean, being this show is what it is. It's kind of like a free-form stream of conscious show, and occasionally we step into something. So, just so that we can keep the peace, I don't have a problem with up till today on the show, when she said on the live show, you gave away personal information, all that shit. All right. I'm not going to argue with you. If you have a problem with it and you want it taken down, you can get it taken down. It's not a problem. It goes for anybody. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, we're looking at the big issue was the Boob Fest. We had numerous people that were like, okay, that's enough. And I'm just trying to keep everybody happy, frankly. The last thing I want to do is have everybody all pissed off at me. Maureen says, you're the boss. It's your show. Well, yes and no. You know, I make the boast about, I don't have any bed. Nobody tells me what to do. But, I mean, if it's not hurting anybody and somebody says, hey, I don't like this or take this down, I'm not going to, if it was 20 years ago, I might dig in my heels, but I'm far too old to be a stubborn asshole, you know? So, I don't know if she's very happy though, regardless, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've been, like I didn't really do anything wrong, frankly, but that's okay. Linda says, I thought you'd had enough, Eric, since you warned her multiple times about it and she kept doing it. I did say that. That is absolutely true. And that's why we have a no nudity policy. I can't have that anymore. People get pissed and I understand. And it probably suits me better to have no nudity on the show. If we have nudity on the show, it's probably not the best thing. So yeah, let's just not take off our clothes anymore going forward until further notice. If she is ever with us again, and I don't know that she will be, we can't have her camera on, unfortunately, because I told her the first time, promise me. She said, I can't promise you. And now this is the third time she showed her boobies. So I just can't do it. And I hope she understands. If not, I cannot control these things. This is the things I can control. My attitude, my work ethic, my mood, Stevie says, what if the guys whip their ding-dongs out? We don't want that either. Well, speak for yourself. I mean, show of hands. If I had a dream come true, there would be nothing but dicks out there. Dicks and boobies. You'd all be nude. Tyler writes, can you imagine the disgusting nudity we might be seeing if we still had some of the former Zaniacs following? Oh, yeah. God damn. Linda says Kenney offered to. Oh, hey, I got an update for Kenney. I don't know if he's here. Oh, there he is. Excellent. Kenney, as you know, on the free podcast, everybody started out with, hi, how you doing? And Kenney announced how disgruntled he was with the Q100 app, because that makes sense. Why start the show with, hello, hey, everybody? Why not start with a complaint? Because that's what people do. Just complain about something. So I talked to the folks at Q100, and I said, hey, ladies and gentlemen over there at Q100, I have a question for you. What is the deal with the app where it doesn't give the correct song? Like a new song starts and then it doesn't tell you. And they said that has only been a problem for people who use the app who are dumb fucks. And then it does that. If you're a dumb fuck and you're using the app, it'll only stay on the one song. It knows if there's a dumb fuck using the app. And if you're a dumb fuck using the app, then it'll just try to fuck with you. And so that's what's going on there. They actually built the app that way. It's got a way of knowing whether or not the person who's using the app is a total fucking moron. And then it does that to annoy you. So I know you were wondering, so I got that info for you. You're welcome. Come on. Okay, we got a new chick who's banging students. School counselor accused of committing sex crimes in her office with students. Now, the image I see, it looks like shortly after being booked. So she's kind of like weepy. Like here she is all sad-eyed. But with a penis in her mouth, she might be attractive. I'm not sure. So I think we need to get to this story and find out what's going on. Audio check, and almost fucked that up, but I didn't. Audio check, video check, here we go.
Newly released warrants reveal a former McDowell High School guidance counselor's text promising to leave her husband to be with the student.
She's now charged with sex crimes, accused of having a relationship with that student.
What's up with this dude reporter? He looks very strange to me. I think he's an alien. How'd you like to be the husband? That text is revealed on the North Carolina local TV news. Yeah, I'm going to leave my husband for you. He's like, goddamn.
Promising to leave her husband to be with the student.
She's now charged with sex crimes, accused of having a relationship with that student. News 13's...
I think that black guy has that disease that you don't have any hair. So he doesn't have like any hair on his head, and nor does he have any eyebrows or bush.
Kimberly King reports from the courthouse in Marion, where the case involving Jessica Finley is heading to court.
Child advocates reacting to the details contained in these documents say, unfortunately, what's described is typical of an adult grooming a child for abuse. This is a photo of Jessica Finley.
Oh, she's cute. Oh, my God. Let her free. She's a little fluffy, too. I kind of like that. Fluffy and cute at the same time. That's a win.
Obtained by News 13 during the time she worked for McDowell High School as a guidance counselor. The 29-year-old
I don't like her in this image. I like the other one better.
Now charged with committing a felony.
Is she getting a haircut there? Why does she got this fucking thing around her?
Sex act and statutory sex with a 14-year-old female student.
Oh, even better. I'm kidding, goddammit.
Unfortunately, adult perpetrators are very good at grooming.
20 pages of investigatory documents show that on February 28th, the child's parents contacted Principal Melora Bennett after discovering texts. The student describing her relationship with Finley as a dating relationship. Finley and the minor, records show, discussed their sexual encounters, their love for one another. Finley made statements she would leave her husband and children to be with the minor child.
They're very good at making individuals that they take advantage of feel special and loved.
Finley started her career with McDowell Schools as a part-time receptionist. In 2018, advancing to a full-time job, then promoted in 2021 to the high school's guidance counselor position, making over $43,000 a year. She served 8 years as head volleyball coach.
I didn't know that she was really close with students, like weirdly close with students. But
Stormy Green is now 18. At 16, when she was in McDowell Schools, they were very close.
She would be someone that I always went to whenever things were going wrong at home.
As for how she feels about the charges,
honestly disgusted. Just weird how she could leave her family that she did have for a minor.
Her message to any other potential victim is this.
I just want them to know that people are here for them and they don't have to go through this alone.
District Attorney Ted Bell declined comment on this case, citing state law that prohibits a DA from commenting on a pending case. Reporting outside the McDowell County Courthouse, Kimberly King, News 13.
I mean, it's just remarkable to me. All in the name of sex. People will do the craziest shit, and more often than not, get busted. And that's it. That's the end of your life. You do not pass go. You do not collect, what is it, $100? $200? $200. Wow. Some great questions coming in about this segment, including wondering if the segment is sponsored by KMK.
Hi, my name is Kelly. Megan's Kristen.
Yeah, Kelly, Megan, Kristen.
And I'm the sponsor of the Eric Zane podcast when discussing sexual acts of a minor. It's protected speech to speak sexually about a 7-year-old girl. If you would like to see the sexual acts of a minor, I'm just trying to get some sexual acts of a minor from whoever. Several 7-year-old girls have already backed out. I'm a veteran, but I would really like sexual acts of a 7-year-old girl, and I would just like sexual acts of a minor. Thank you very much for your understanding and your time.
Absolutely heinous. Yeah, and I think that you got dad there too, or they're the husband. Oh, the humiliation. The, my God, divorce now? I don't know. I wonder if there's ever been a scenario like this where a teacher does something like that, like this exact thing, but the guy does not divorce the teacher. Like, if Pooh Bear came home and said that, that she had gone back with the black guy that she dated before I decided to make her my wife. If she said, hey, I rekindled the relationship with Aaron, I don't think I'd divorce her. I would go into a separate bedroom and I'd say, all right, work out whatever it is. I'd let her have her fun. I'd say, you do whatever you need to do. I'm not divorcing you no matter what. No matter what happens, I'm not divorcing you. Eventually, this little bubble that you're living in is going to explode, and it's all going to come crashing down, and then you're going to come running back to me. I will forgive you and take you back, but until that time, we'll just be separate. That's how I would handle that. That's because I'm the best. Okay? I would do that. Some of you are like, you're crazy. What the fuck is wrong with you? Frankly, I don't even like thinking about it because I can't imagine Pooh Bear with anyone other than your old pal EZ. I just can't take it. That's a horrible thing to even think about. We have another sicko. Holy shit. Hang on. I just saw a goddamn wasp wake up and come out of nowhere and come flying into this room. Shit. Okay, we had talked about this teacher. One of the there was a couple from the same school who started an OnlyFans page, and then the teacher found out about it and she was forced to resign. Brianna Coppage is the chick. And that's exactly what happened. She did an OnlyFans page, and then the school was like, "Look, hey, you can't have an OnlyFans page and be a teacher." So she lost her job. Some of you disagree with that, think that should be okay, and I'm here to tell you, it's not. That's a horrible thing. I honestly cannot imagine what that would be like if I was a school-age kid knowing my teacher is making porno that I could very easily, the second she turns around, be watching her getting butt slammed while she's helping out the student next to me. It's incredible. What a time we live in. If I was in school and somebody said, hey, Mrs. Petrosella gets butt slammed by two giant penises on video. First of all, we wouldn't know what video is because it was that long ago. That there's porno movies at the local theater starring Mrs. Petrosella. I mean, that'd be something we would never even be able to fathom. Nowadays, not only is that a thing, but the teacher could come over and say, look, stop drawing images of you shooting the other students. And you could go, yeah, okay, great. And then she turns around, and within 3 seconds, you could be watching her with a penis in her mouth. That's a legit thing. My God. Well, now, Brianna Coppage, she lost that job, the teaching job. And honestly, that turned out to be quite a good thing for her because her OnlyFans took off. She's now making some real money in OnlyFans. Like, if you're a hot chick and you're making the requisite $40,000 as a teacher. And you're like, yeah, I feel like I really need to up my game and earn more money. I'm going to do OnlyFans. And then if you really want to boost that, you then let it leak. You go out of your way to make it known to the school that you are doing porno. And then every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to talk about it. Everybody's going to want to see you doing your porno. You're going to make so much money. Okay. So 28-year-old Brianna Coppage, she was forced to resign from that job in October. She got another job, and I'm like, why? Why would you? You don't need to get another job. If you're going to do porno, you might as well commit to doing the porno. And in 1 year, make what you'd make in 10 years if you're any good at it. And then get out of the game by the time you're 33 before you start to fucking fall apart. You got a limited shelf life when it comes to home porno. Not everybody looks great as they age. Some do. All the audience members of this show are absolutely stunning. We all know that. Coppage said she resigned from her teaching position at the Missouri High School after the board placed her on leave. She found work as a community support specialist at Compass Health. But her new employer quickly discovered the OnlyFans account, which it claimed violated their social media policy. I lasted 5 days before they put me on leave and subsequently fired me just this month, she said, according to the outlet. I don't want to fight the school district. I'm just ready for peace, she told the press at the time. I don't want the school to continue getting hate. After losing her job at Compass Health, Coppage said she was forthcoming about her career history, but claimed that the company failed to do its due diligence. They admitted that they didn't call my references or Google me before they hired me, Coppage said. They claimed that I violated their social media policy, but will not respond to me with how I violated it. It sounds like a lawsuit. You could possibly sue. It's like, well, no, I didn't. I mean, social media, are you talking Facebook and X and shit like that? I mean, this is OnlyFans. This is totally different. This is home porno. Which, by the way, it looks like she could make a lot of money. I mean, she has the type of look that I think would make her a lot of money. She joined OnlyFans to earn more money and said that the content platform helped her earn more than $1 million following her resignation from the teaching position. Yeah, why are you bothering going to get another job? Is it because the followers went down? My friend's brother-in-law and his wife do amateur porn. I don't know how she deals with that when they have family reunions. Wow, that's quite a reveal there. Question for Linda. Knowing that your friend's brother and his wife do porno, is it like published? Or is it just they make home pornos? Because everybody makes home porn. Who hasn't? I mean, my God, I've still got errant tapes all around this goddamn house that I'm finding. Tapes and DVDs. I'm like, oh, what's this? I popped one in here not long ago. And it was, oh my God, there was some crazy shit going on there. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, fuck, man, I gotta get rid of this shit. I keep finding errant pornos of EZ and Pooh Bear. And we can't have that. We can't, like, when I die, I don't want my kids to find that shit. So I don't know why it's all spread around the house either. I'm guessing my wife took it to work and gave it to her friends or some shit. But it's really fucked up. We haven't made a home porno in years, though. And frankly, we're not young anymore. When we were like in our 30s, we're all like ripped. Just, oh, yeah, here you go. Take this. Ugh. Now it's like, God damn, my dick doesn't even work. Linda says, oh, yeah, they have conventions like the AVN Awards in Vegas. I was there for something else at the same time, LOL. Tyler asked a question I was going to ask. Have you seen the porno? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I find out that any of you have done home porno, or I should say amateur porno, and it's posted, I'm going to go and see it. I'm going to pay for it. I need to see you all in porno. My curiosity would consume me. I'd have to. Stevie says, holy crap, mind blown. What? Because of a Pooh Bear Easy home porno? Oh, my God. We had like multiple cameras going. She was the editor. What the fuck? I couldn't. She's like, get this, hurry up. We got to edit this shit. She was like a fucking Martin Scorsese of home porno. Amy says, next Patreon, Easy's home videos. No. No way. I don't even think we've watched them. It was just exciting having the camera on. And so I'll stumble upon these old pieces of footage. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh, no. Maureen says, I've never felt the need to do any porno. The world doesn't need to see that. No. Of course, no one shows their own porno. Nick says, my mom and dad found some of mine on an old digital camera. Oh, my God. Oh. Wow. That's rough, man. Are they still with us to this day? Mom and Dad? I think your mom is with us. Ugh. Those poor people. Megan says you're going to end up seeing that with the grandkids going down memory lane someday. Well, with a little luck, I'm going to live for a long time and continue to find these nestled little hiding spots of home porno that are all throughout this fucking house. Everywhere I turn, it's guns and home porno. It's ridiculous. So, Linda, have you seen the porno? Have you seen the home porno of your friend? What did you say again? Someone you know. I forget now. Maureen says, what if you accidentally sent Ben some of your porn to review for Who Are These Zanes? That would be horrible. I don't have any digital copies. It's all physical copies. All the media is physical. Now, Linda lies. She says, no, I have not seen it. Are you crazy? You have to see it. My God. Megan says, what did your parents say to you when they brought that up, Tyler? Not Tyler, Nick. It happened to Nick. Nick's mom and dad saw him plugging away. Kenney says VHS tapes. No. Mini digital tapes and DVDs. Oh, my God. You wouldn't believe it. Diana's an excellent video editor, too. Holy shit. Ryan says Linda has seen it. She's lying. Of course she's lying. My God. Ryan wrote that Maureen told me Linda is lying. All right. That's pretty much it. I think we can... no, I think I might... What time did I start? 1:19. All right, I've got a little bit of time. I want to share another story with you. I guess... Oh, I forgot. I was going to show you what this chick looks like. This is her. Brianna Coppage. Now, let's be honest here. She looks extremely attractive. There's a reason why she made $1 million. It's because she looks great and the publicity was out there. Very few people make money on OnlyFans. This is a very good thing that the story came out. Just like that, she's a millionaire. So why the fuck is she going to get another job? Probably to get this story in the news again. She's fucking brilliant. Okay? She looks great. Megan says, was it 119 before the dog poo or after? No, after the dogs went potty, it was 119. Chris says, I feel like the Big Fraud News Network is going to be doing some hard-hitting investigation on EZ home porno. It was many years ago. Many, many years ago. Amy says, I would lose money on OnlyFans. I think we all would, you know? Tyler says, another job, a.k.a. free marketing. Look, I know her name, Brianna Coppage. If I was into OnlyFans, I'd go check out Brianna Coppage. Jimmy's probably beating his meat to her right now. God damn. Okay. So not far from here, in one of the Hilljack communities, Hastings, Michigan. Couple friends are out on a boat on Thornapple Lake, and apparently some fucking psychopath did not want them on the lake, and he got out his gun and was going to shoot them with his rifle, sniper style. Oh my God. Our pal Susan Samples is on the case. Audio check.
Middle of the lake.
Oops. Audio check, video check. Here we go.
Okay, you're out in the middle of the lake, and you said somebody's pointing a gun at you?
Yeah, he's trying to shoot us. There's 3 of us on the boat.
A harrowing 911 call and a frantic game of hide-and-seek on Berry County's Thornapple Lake. Tonight, 35-year-old Stephen Whiteman is charged with assault with a dangerous weapon and resisting and assaulting police.
Target 8 investigator Susan Samples reports 3 terrified young people night fishing on Thornapple Lake called 911 to report a man was pointing an assault rifle at them.
Berry County 911, where's your emergency?
I'm bow fishing with my friends and someone's pointing a gun at us.
Now, Berry County, bow fishing is a normal pastime. Okay? So is pointing assault rifles at each other. This is another one of the 1 million 1,000-yard stare communities that surround me in this wacko bumblefuck world that I live in called West Michigan.
Thus began what would be 26 terrifying minutes for 3 young adults who just wanted to night fish on Thornapple Lake. It was 10 p.m. the first Saturday of March.
Okay, you're out in the middle of the lake, and you said somebody's pointing a gun at you?
Yeah, he's trying to shoot us. There's 3 of us on the boat.
The caller, a 21-year-old woman, was on the lake east of Hastings with her boyfriend, 20, and another young man, 19.
Have they actually fired any rounds off at you?
Not yet, ma'am.
The caller said a man from a lake house with a bonfire going began to yell at them.
I told him, I was like, I'm so sorry, we can't hear. Our motor's so loud, sir. And then he ran inside and grabbed his gun. He said that he had an AR.
So the guy's like, hey, get off the fucking lake. It's too late. It's too late to I'll be out there in the lake, which I guess I'm not sure why that's a problem, but that's what he was bitching. And they're like, we can't hear you because the motor's too loud. They're like moving real slowly while they're doing their thing. Guys, I'm going to go get my gun.
Assault rifle trained on the trio.
Did he tell you that he had a gun, or did you physically see this?
Yes. He told us, and we saw it. He was pointing it at us. We turned all the lights off in the motor, and we got down. He told us he was going to shoot us.
Quietly, they maneuvered the motor manually, trying to creep across the water and away from danger.
He said he has an effing 4-year-old child in the house. He was mad about the light.
Okay, it was the lights he was mad about.
And it appeared he wasn't giving up.
Big fucking deal. Close the shade, asshole.
Sit down.
What's going on? What's going on?
He's scoping the lake. Scoping the lake trying to find us.
What's that?
He's got a flashlight.
What's that? Doesn't it drive you crazy when the 911 operator asks you to repeat yourself? Listen, you dumb bitch.
He's scoping the lake. Scoping the lake trying to find us.
What's that?
He's got a flashlight. He's trying to find us.
For nearly a half hour, the dispatcher tried to guide them to safety and responding deputies.
When we get to the beach, we're going to run.
You're up on shore?
No, we're almost there. Oh, my God, he's got a laser.
I need to take a deep breath and talk to me. What's going on?
Yeah, how are you not following this? He's got a goddamn laser on us.
He's got a laser, man.
What's going on?
We're running.
From the water to the woods, they hid for their lives.
Okay, what we're learning here is a 911 operator needs to be fired. Okay, that's the first thing. The 911 operator needs to lose her job.
What's going on?
We're running.
From the water to the woods, they hid for their lives, like scenes from a horror movie, complete with an alleged villain and some heroes, too.
Is that male still out there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're doing a good job, okay? Okay, we've got lots of help on the way to you.
They did make their way safely to deputies. Investigators tell us Stephen Whiteman had a pellet gun, not an assault rifle. At least they did not find an actual assault rifle. But that pellet gun, they said, did resemble an AR. Whiteman.
Poor Susan Samples. Look, she's got like a chest zit right here that's just begging to be popped. It's like, look at me.
Who was apparently angry about people fishing late on the lake, was charged this week with assault with a dangerous weapon and resisting and assaulting police, all felonies.
All right. Serving. God damn. That is fucked up. What an asshole. Kenney writes, you're doing, the 911 operator, you're doing a good job, okay? But I'm not. It's a perfect way to get me into your, get into my good graces, Kenney. Is actually a joke that makes me laugh instead of complaining about everything. Linda writes, get off my lake, you damn kids. Stevie says, awful 911 operator. She needs a hearing aid. Quote, Tyler writes, laser? Like a laser pointer? Is he playing with his cat? Huh? What's going on? Oh, my God. Chris adds, why does the operator sound like the no Chick-fil-A sauce girl? I don't know what that is, but it sounds funny. Linda says this is terrifying. It was terrifying. I can just imagine. Well, that guy's fucked. Brian writes, headline, Big Fraud News Network unearths home porn. Big Fraud's prominent nose, steel spotlight, and cringe-inducing VHS footage. Holy shit, that's a great headline. I'd read that. That's fantastic. All right. That is my time today. Thank you for being here. I will talk to you tomorrow. We'll fire this up once again. Broadcast day starts at 6. Till then, have a good one. Bye-bye.